You ready?
I'm ready.
Yeah. 3, 2, 1. Good morning, Gjallarhorn. It's Dave here, and we have GMG in the Raw for the second week. Yeah, baby.
We may have been drinking.
My God, you guys are lit up. I love it.
Drew, you're not drinking?
A little bit. That's all. Just
you don't
a
want,
little bit.
You don't want me drinking. Too much drinking makes too much Drew. We don't need that.
All right. Do you not drink anymore then? Is that your deal?
Since 1990, 28 years.
Really? Wow.
Yep, I was 25.
Congratulations, man.
Congratulations on your sobriety.
Not really. It's the best I'm going to feel every day I wake up.
I'm a drunkard.
Good for you. I'm proud that you guys are. I'm glad you guys are buzzed. That makes the show even more in the raw. What the hell did we just watch? That was a classic, huh?
So, excuse me while I choke on my beer. Here's my thing. In past seasons, like when the Vikings went down 23-4 Lambeau,
right?
Did you have any faith that they would have won?
No, none at all.
I mean, look, here's the deal. Nobody likes a tie. I'm sure Packers fans all over the world are not happy with the tie. But here's the thing. The Vikings came back at Lambeau in an environment where they were probably not supposed to win. I looked at on ESPN at one point, and the Packers' win probability was 92%.
Sure.
There's some good things to take away from this. It's not great. I mean, there's a lot of questions about the Vikings defense. There's a lot of questions about Laquon Treadwell and Daniel Carlson and those decisions.
Oh, fuck.
But my goodness, fellas, Kirk Cousins, Adam Thielen, and Stephon Diggs, 9 times out of 10 are going to win you some football games. And that is something that, quite frankly, I'm pretty happy about. And with Pat Elflein coming back, I mean, it's not great. But 1-0-1 is better than 1-1, if that makes any sense.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I talked pregame or before we did the show with Dave about every once in a while, and once in a great while, you run into these games where you can have 3 different reactions emotionally with fans, and it's really rare. Because some people are really pissed off. Some people are saying, "Hey, we got out with a tie, we were about to blow it," and then the most popular response should be, I guess, if you have a chance to win it like that, you got to win those games. So that's probably the most.
Absolutely agree.
The biggest deal.
Yes, they should have won.
The fact that it has these different emotional standards to it makes it really bizarre to me, because I can go thinking about the game within 5 minutes. I can have 3 different emotional reactions to it.
Yes.
It's bizarre, dude. It's like 1 minute I'm like pissed that we didn't win. The next minute I'm thinking, how do we not have a 0 in the loss column on that shit game?
Right.
Very strange. It's very strange. We could call it the squanderer. The squanderer.
We can call it
the squanderer.
Or
I squander round and round and round and round. Yeah.
We could call it the McNabb.
No.
McNabb? No.
Remember what Don McNabb said? He had no idea that NFL teams could tie? The McNabb. The McNabb.
Dumbass.
No. Now, watching the Zim press conference, he was wondering, and hopefully I've recorded it well, how can the Green Bay offense grab our guys on the outside of the shoulder and not get called for holding?
Drew, go ahead, man.
I'm not going to, there's so much to chew on with this game. the officiating is like way down, believe it or not, way down on my list today. I mean, it was poor. They got more calls, but they were the home team. But that's not near my concern about a couple calls here or there. I mean,
yeah, but why does it always
I don't know what you're trying to talk about, but
that when we play Green Bay, it's the Vikings versus Green Bay and the Zebras?
You know what?
No.
Well, wait. Hear me out. I think it's a conditioned response at this point. We expect Green Bay to get the calls at home, and we look for more calls than there probably are. There were some blatant holding calls that weren't called. I'm not saying there weren't, but I would argue in the end, things sort of evened out like they almost always do in NFL games. When Clay Matthews was tagged with that roughing the passer penalty.
Sure,
yeah, when Cousins threw that pick and nullified all that. Look, I hate jobbed us lament. It's a loser's excuse. It really is. There were some blatant calls that were not called by the Packers or by the refs on the Packers. There were also some blatant holds that were not called by the Vikings by the refs. So look,
exactly. You know what? This is what I always say. This is what Uncle Paulie used to say. Let me throw a little Paulie at you. You know what, kid? Because he used to call me kid. How come I never hear fans bitch about the officiating when you win?
Right.
That's the point. Nobody ever fucking complains when we win. So I'm not gonna. You know what? I'm not gonna. No, that's down on the deck for me. I'm not worried about the officiating. We went both ways today. It was a wash.
Agree. 100% agree.
Now, what do you think of Treadwell? He did catch his first touchdown of his career today.
I don't think Laquon Treadwell should be allowed on the bus back to Minnesota.
I think he should be cut tomorrow.
Look, man,
cut that. Cut him loose.
It's terrible, but Daniel Carlson and Laquon Treadwell should have to split an Uber back to Minneapolis.
I agree 100%.
Come on, man. I mean,
both of them would fall out of the car.
Treadwell finally gets me in his side or on his camp. It was like Laquon Treadwell over the middle. That doesn't even rhyme well. It's a terrible joke. I'm sorry. It was terrible.
It's terrible.
I mean, I want to like the guy. I want him to succeed. Same with Carlson. But at some point, I mean, come on, man. You are paid a lot of money in the NFL to either catch passes or make kicks if you're a kicker. You can't do that consistently. 1 or 2 drops I get. I totally get it. Life happens. But when it comes to the point where you can't, the coaching staff needs to look at maybe making a change. And I'm not saying we're there yet, but they got to be making some calls, bringing people in to work out.
Yeah.
Carlson has to be cut tomorrow just for the fact that we kept Walsh way too long. Zimmer's already been through this. We kept Blair Walsh way too long.
Well, if Carlson gets cut tomorrow, who do we bring in? Do we call
Dan Bailey, baby?
Dan Bailey,
Bailey.
Cowboys, right now.
Now.
Right now.
Glover speaks the truth.
Have him on the red-eye flight to Minneapolis right now.
Send Ziggy's plane down to get him.
Dan Bailey on the middle.
Get Dan Bailey on the phone.
Now,
Dan Bailey over the middle.
What gets me on Treadwell is every single pass hit him in the hands.
Every single one. You're right.
Every single one.
Aggravating.
Anybody that's played football knows, right? That's been in a receiver position, including the tight end like me, right? Knows that if it hits you in the hands, you better ass catch it.
Yeah.
And he dropped, 3? Causing an interception?
Hey, you got to give us one. Hold your horses. Come on, give us one. Give us a Dave. Hold your horses. Do it. Come on, let's do it.
Hold your horses. This is horrible, people. That's not how you play at this level.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, It was more aggravating than bad intel on an infill mission.
No kidding.
Meow.
Whatever.
Terrible.
It was terrible.
I got good and bad list I've been making since the end of the game, and it's like it's pretty even. But like I said, I don't know. One minute I'm thinking, damn, we blew our golden opportunity to go 2-0. The next minute I'm thinking, how do we not have a loss?
It's amazing that we didn't go 2-0. It's equally as amazing to me that we aren't 1-1.
Yes, isn't it straight? And now that doesn't come along after a game many times.
No, it doesn't.
That's as strange as bad intel on a mission to stop the bad intel. I'm telling you. It's all the way around bad intel, baby.
Terrible.
Let me throw, hey, this will put a smile on your face. Let me throw these numbers at you real quick. Ready?
Go.
It's all quiet, so I guess they're ready.
Go.
Thielen and Diggs. 21 catches on 26 targets, 259 yards, and 3 touchdowns.
You cannot beat that with a stick.
That is Madden football stuff, and they tied. They didn't win, but they didn't lose.
Thielen caught 12 passes on 13 targets.
That's insane.
That's good.
That's insane.
And what about, and let's say this. Let's say this and get it out in the open. We have our franchise quarterback. Today I became a believer. Well, I'm going full Gooderham. I believe.
I was making film clips of myself later in the game.
Ew.
And I was screaming for Cousins. We paid him $84 million, right, over 3 years to make these kind of 4,000-yard seasons, the 350-yard games. Today, he did not disappoint.
He did not at all. Not even.
I was sold today. From this day forward, I'm sold. I mean, I do have a question for you guys though. Why 22 points in the fourth quarter? Ted, why does it take to the fourth quarter to start rolling the machine out? That's what we got today. 22 of our 29 was in the last quarter. That's amazing.
Honestly, Drew, I think it was desperation. I think John DeFilippo, the Vikings, whoever decided it was time, play the game close to the vest, and let the defense win the game.
Right.
Kind of like they always do. And when that got to the point where it was 23-14, and then was it 29-21? Sure. It was like it was time to look. We gotta let the dogs eat, man. I mean, there's
come out of the gate like that. Come on, man.
Exactly. There's nothing else we can do. We are down, and if we don't start chucking it, we are not going to win. And the result was, I'm gonna say it's firm, but it was utter magic. I mean, Kirk Cousins looked absolutely incredible that fourth quarter with. And I'm not even the fourth quarter. Less than 2 minutes to go after he threw that pick that really wasn't his fault. It was Laquon Treadwell off his hands.
It was not his fault. It was not.
No, it wasn't. From then on, Kirk Cousins said, "You know what? Whatever. I got it. I got you, boys. Get on my back." And last time,
go ahead. Sorry.
The last time the Vikings had a quarterback like that was Brett Favre in 2009. You could argue Case Keenum last year. But really, when the chips were down, Brett Favre in 2009.
Yes, I agree. And you think I'm done with numbers? No, I'm not done. I did my homework. While you fuckers are doing shots and getting drunk, while you guys get drunk, I'm the one hammering the number. I'm the sober guy has to look up all the numbers, which is fine. Because you know what? I got the intel, baby. I got intel for the mission. Listen to this. Listen to my intel right here.
I'm dying. You're killing me.
Listen, Granite Jaw McDreamy. Get this. Where's his percentage here? 35 of 48, 425 yards, 4 touchdowns, a pick that wasn't his fault, 118.9 passer rating.
Ridiculous.
Good God.
That's honest to goodness, that's Favre-ish. It seriously is.
I mean, what's the record? 490 for a game for the Vikings? Kramer had 490 one day. I think that's only 70 yards off the record.
I think so. Yeah, it's pretty close. Not a lot of Vikings quarterbacks have had 400 yards passing.
when you box together him and Thielen and Diggs, all them together, they're playing the game. The defense only allows 1 touchdown. Then that equals, how the fuck did you lose this game when you picture all that together? Or how did you tie? No, that's I mean tie. Well,
was it only 1 touchdown that the defense allowed?
Yes. Defense gave up 1. We had the blocked punt, and then we had a bunch of field goals by Mason Dildo. That's how they got their points. That's how. Are you guys doing
We're done. We're done.
No, they only gave up 1 touchdown. The defense only gave up 1 touchdown out of the 29 points.
Yeah, he had 5 field goals? 5 or 6.
Yeah. One of the good things that happened was the timeout that iced him to make him miss that 1. But still,
icing the kicker works.
What?
The kicker works.
It did.
It never works, but it worked.
It did work on that 1 occasion. It did work. I mean, the defense gave up a lot of yards in between the 20s, and that stinking slant pass that we were giving Sharon all day on the blitzes. Kendricks would blitz and he'd burn them. But overall, giving up points is where you judge your defense, and they gave up. They gave up 22, I guess. Or wait, they gave up.
Yeah.
Well, they only gave up the 1 touchdown, but my point is, they didn't give up 6 on every drive.
Rodgers' stats weren't all that great. I mean, they were high completion percentage, but not a ton of yards. I mean, yeah, you're right, but it just kind of feels like for me right now, the Vikings defense isn't at the level it was.
No, we were letting them move it way too long of drives. How many 3 and outs did they have today? How many 3 and outs did we hold them to? Any?
I'd have to look. Not a lot.
I don't think we held them to 1, and that's kind of our thing.
There's at least 2 that we did.
It seemed to me every time they got it, they had it 8 plays. Every time they got the ball, it seemed to me.
Felt like it. Yeah, it felt like it. I have to look it up.
That's not us. That's not. The dink and dunk. I expected it in the first quarter, and Dave had said at halftime, we need to make some major adjustments. Well, Dave probably, we need to make some major adjustments. Well,
so I did say that. Yes, I did.
He kept dinking and dunking us the whole second half, too. We didn't really adjust to it. Why does Waynes play 20 yards off the receiver? Why? Get up there and bump and run. Do something. Get up there and cover that guy.
Yeah, but he doesn't do that. Hughes does that, but Waynes doesn't do that. And speaking of Hughes, why wasn't Hughes put in for Alexander? Because Alexander gave up a couple plays, and I would have yanked his ass in a heartbeat and stuck in Hughes.
Because
nice buzz, baby.
Because Trey Waynes has been starting here for what, 2 years, 3 years? Mike Hughes has played 1 NFL game.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, look, you just can't throw Mike Hughes to the dogs. And I will say, I'll give Mike Zimmer credit in that he doesn't play a guy when he doesn't think he's ready. I think Trey.
Yeah, but I would have put Hughes at nickel for Alexander, not for Waynes.
He did when Alexander gave up that big pass to Jimmy Graham. He yanked him and put Hughes in.
Yeah, but he later put Alexander back in.
Right. But I mean, look, if you take him out and you don't put him back in, you completely shatter the dude's confidence. I mean, I like Zimmer. I think he sends a message, but he still tells guys that he has confidence in them, and that you can't just yank a dude for one bad play. You just can't.
You have to. Let's look at it like this, guys. It's game 2. I think he's still trying to figure out the combinations that work. I don't even think he knows.
I absolutely agree.
Let's get up to week 5 or 6, and he has a better idea of what he wants to do, play in and play out. I think he's just kind of messing around with it right now, trying to figure out what works.
Well, that sounds like sober common sense.
When I see, well, one of us has to say it. What's that 181? What's his name? Cesar Geronimo? What the hell is that guy? Geronimo squat and drop? What the fuck is his name?
Geronimo Allen?
Whatever his name. Yeah, Allen Geronimo, whatever. Waynes was 20 yards off him. They'd snap the ball, and Rodgers would throw an 8-yard square out, and then he'd catch it. Waynes would run up and tackle him, and then Rodgers would laugh. The camera would show him, and he's laughing, shaking his head, going, "I can't believe they're playing. They're giving us that every time. They're just giving it to us, And when you get 8 yards on first down, Ted, you know as well as I do, the drive is going to continue.
Hey, speaking of which, hey, let me ask you guys this: did you guys see the point in the game where the camera showed Barr and Rodgers having a conversation at a commercial break?
Yes, my wife says I'd love to hear that conversation.
I would give almost $1 million to hear what those two had to say to each other. Because I don't think it was, hey, can I get your address? Because I want to send you a Christmas card. Hey, that's a great idea because I would love to send you a Christmas card too. Because I think you know what? I think you're a great dude as well. Why don't we just exchange Christmas cards and we'll just be best buddies forever? Yeah, that didn't happen.
I don't think so. I think it was, if you get in my way again, I'm going to dislocate your vagina again.
That's terrible.
I think that's what he says.
No, you shouldn't have said that. Terrible. It's terrible.
I don't know. That was bad. I don't know what went on in that conversation, but I would like to have heard it too. That would have been good. That would have been good intel. All the way.
Oh, well. Hey, this has been another raw version of Good Morning Gjallarhorn.
Yeah. Hold your horses.
You betcha.
Hold your horses. I have something I want to say something.
What did you say, Drew?
Meow, meow, Viking cow.
What do you say, Ted?
What have I gotten myself into?
You got that right, baby. Skull Vikings!
Help me!
Hey, it wasn't a loss. Hopefully we can win with that. We're still undefeated, folks. Still undefeated.
Oh, man.